Welcome back to the overview of my financial literacy series. My name is Brent Kempton, and this series is titled, What You Don't Know Will Hurt You, because it identifies extremely important financial issues that most people aren't aware of. The next installment in this series is the summation, which brings it all together with an additional important insights. To begin with, not all advisors are on your side. I have personally seen too many advisors who do what is best for themselves and not for their clients. I have stories I could tell you. If he or she doesn't take the time to ask you the right questions, then what is the decision being based upon? The commission, they need to understand you, your goals, your risk tolerance, and more than that, they need to understand your situation before they come up with an idea of what works for you. Remember, there are no absolutes. If his or her only tool is a financial hammer, then every situation will absolutely look like a financial nail. He or she will try to solve everyone's problems with the same financial products, such as an annuity or a VUL, even when it isn't the best fit. You need to have enough financial literacy of your own to know which advisors you can trust and which advice you can trust. All right, I wasn't trying for subtlety here because this is a very important point. Retirement doesn't just happen. Your retirement is your responsibility. You had better be paying attention to it. I learned this the hard way. Even though I had made good money as a software engineer, I didn't pay attention to my retirement. All right, talking about retirements, one of the big ways in which we retire are the employment retirement plans, but you need to understand that these benefits are being used as an enticement to get you to come and work for them. They start you with a 401k or something like that, and they basically essentially forget about you from that point on. Few employers care beyond your term of employment with them. They have little or no reason to have an interest in your financial well-being. And since many people depend solely on these plans for their retirement, this is their only retirement vessel that they're using, they need to make sure that their personal plan is working for them. Don't rely upon your employer to do that for you. All right. There's a little known gotcha that comes with defined contributions, which are 401k and 403bs are defined contributions. The problem is that you accumulate while you work, and then you retire on what you have accumulated. The problem is that when it's gone, which could leave you on the brink of financial disaster, the falls of disaster, if you haven't put enough away into your, according to your financial independence number. Many people spend more time planning vacations than their financial future. Do you suppose that that's because they don't know enough about financial literacy in order to know how to start planning? Only 4% of the population is going to have independence when they retire. That means that they're going to be independent of programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. They're not going to be dependent upon government to make their retirement work. More than 20% of upcoming retirees will have no savings whatsoever. So that begs the question, who do you think will be responsible for keeping them alive and well? Okay, everybody's thinking Social Security at this point, right? Well, let's talk about Social Security and the problems that we're looking at there. Recently, you had 4 workers to every 1 recipient. Coming in the future is 1 worker to every 4 recipients. What about the trust fund? The trust fund is comprised of government bonds because as soon as the money hit the trust fund, they were borrowed by Congress and used by Congress. So there's a trust fund there, but it's all a bunch of IOUs. Question then become who pays the bonds and interest back as we need them? Well, that's the same individual taxpayer who is also paying for 4 Social Security recipients. Going on, here's an announcement made by the Social Security trustees. Social Security Trust Fund will be 0 in 2036. This was later updated. This 2036 date is updated, as you'll see on the next slide. And then you have Social Security revenue shortfall estimated at $6.5 trillion over the next 75 years. See your poor taxpayer up there carrying that load on his back? Now, as I said a minute ago, Social Security trustees revised their 2011 announcement to 2032, which is 4 years earlier than what we had expected before. So when that happens, when we hit this point, the Social Security payment is going to drop by at least 21%, at least 21%. So if you're being paid, say, $1,600 a month through Social Security and barely making it, which most people are at $1,600 a month, and then you lose at least $336 of that amount, how are you going to survive? I hope this makes you a little bit nervous. It's Medicare trust fund supporting hospitalization, that's part A, projected to be depleted in 2024, which is 5 years earlier than what they would have projected just the year before. And benefits are to be paid out. The benefits to be paid out are expected to exceed revenues from now on. So we're talking Medicare right now. 2024 isn't very far away, is it? Then the chief actuary comes back to make this very interesting point. All these words sum up to say the numbers just given you about 2024 are based under the best of circumstances. That's if everything goes right and nothing goes wrong. Enrollment's going to go up from 49 to 81 million in 2030. It has also been recently announced that Medicare is headed for complete insolvency by or before 2036. By or before 2036. According to the AARP, American Association of Retired People, you shouldn't try to retire until you won't run out of money before age 95. You can afford to wait for Social Security because they don't want you starting early at age 62 because they're afraid the results of not having will be that you won't have a big enough financial cushion that you need later on. However, I question this to some degree. You personally need to do the math to determine if waiting till age 65 works, given that Social Security payments are dropping by at least 21% no later than 2032. When I did my personal math, I saw the break-even point, the point at which I would make more money by waiting than had I started at 62. I saw it sitting out about 15 to 17 years. And that meant that it put me pretty close to that particular age frame. So I went for the $62. They also state that you need to own your own home, that you need to have at least 40% of your income be guaranteed. That means it's coming from residual sources like investments, trust funds, pension funds, something that's out there that's just kicking you money no matter what you're doing. You don't have to work for it. It just simply comes. and you can cut your spending by 20% in hard times. Well, they're going to do that for you in 2036 when they drop you by 21%, aren't they? So you better be able to handle that. So the question is, at age 65, will you be retired or just tired and still working, trying to get further upstream while you're still able to work? Think about it. That completes this session. Our next session will be the call to action section that lays out what you need to do if you want to get control of your finances. And once again, here's my contact information. If it doesn't stay up long enough, then stop the presentation if you need time to write this down, or click on the QR code to get to the link that shows you a little bit more information about us. I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you very much.